How's it going, Borderlands community? Welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at the new hot fixes that they have come out for Borderlands 3. This video is a little bit late. I'm sorry about that, guys, but still, you might not know about some of these bugs, fixes, and these balance fixes. This is a hot fix, so that means that you don't actually get a download to like your, PlayStation like update downloads. You don't get like an actual notification through there to do this. This is a hot fix. Basically, that means through the main menu, there's a quick little download that changes a couple things. Basically, this is like a smaller update, but it still affects some of the other things like quite drastically. But we're gonna go right into it, starting with some of the bug fixes. Whenever I played the game, the only bugs that I really found was like people clipping and like Lilith getting stuck on the stairs and she couldn't move, stuff like that. That's the only thing that I ever found bug-wise, or just like triggers not activating or people just not spawning. Typical stuff like this, but nothing like I've seen with these bug fixes here. But apparently there's been some problems. But yellow paint has been added to the Umbrier to mark a more obvious path to complete the Sabotage Crew challenge, which I did have a problem with. Whenever I was playing, I did see that one. The new use station in front of the Helicon suborbital spaceport used during the Space Laser Tag mission and the Meridian Metroplex now has a larger activation range. The new station in front of Titan's Gate used during the Atlas at Last mission and the Meridian Metroplex has a larger activation range. That's good. So the range basically on whenever you get to that new use station, you have to get so close to a new station before it activates that as your last checkpoint. But now the actual activation triggers, like for the range, is longer. So maybe you accidentally drive past it and it was too short of an activation range, so it didn't say basically that you went past it yet, so it would not spawn you there. Now they're big enough to where you have more of a chance of actually spawning there. The first guardian a player runs into during the Beneath the Meridian mission is no longer over leveled. I did see this guy when doing this mission. However, I noticed that he was like kind of over leveled, but I do a lot of side quests, so he wasn't super over leveled for me. He was a bit tougher, but it wasn't something that I thought was so over leveled that I couldn't get past. I eventually got past it pretty easy. The Iridian chest by the grotto and Jacob's estate is no longer invisible. I never saw this. Probably because it's invisible. I never ran into that, but apparently that was a thing. So we got some balance updates now. Let's go over the balancing updates. Iridium crystals in the Versus canopy grows less frequently. That's kind of sad. I've noticed these balancing updates basically are pretty much all nerfs. The amount of loot drops has been scaled down in Mayhem mode, which is sad. I had just started Mayhem mode when this update came out, so kind of sucks. Torque shotgun sticky damage has been reduced. I never used any of these guns, so I never really found out that they were something that needed to be reduced damage wise. Apparently I should have been using them because they were so high in damage that they flat out needed to be patched or nerfed. E-Tech shotgun elemental damage has been reduced from flesh off your bones to a lot, so they scaled down the elemental damage on the E-Tech guns to not be so much. I didn't realize that was a huge deal either. Chupacabra dropped too much of his honored loot, so you get less loot from the Chupacabra, which when I did play and fight him, he did drop a lot of stuff. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense in a way. Adjusted spawn rate of loot tinks in mansion. They're special again, so it used to be that they were just kind of common in the mansion. However, when I played the mansion, I don't think I ever got any. So they are less likely to spawn now in the mansion, which is kind of sad. They're a special spawn again now because of that. Remove pain sounds from Troy for his boss fight. Now, this is something I have heard quite a bit about and heard a lot of people talking about it, that he makes grunting noises and a lot of different noises a lot whenever you're doing the boss fight for him. Whenever I was playing and fighting Troy, I did think like he does kind of talk a lot, but probably not too much, not enough that I thought they'd have to do a hot fix. But yeah, I mean, I guess they really needed it. A lot of people have been trolling this. I'm not surprised about that at all, because that's kind of a a crazy thing. It's under balancing updates, which I don't get how it's really balancing, but they put it in the hotfix. I don't know. Either way, so it doesn't. I don't think it has any pain sounds at all, what it sounds like. It says removed pain sounds. It's not less pain sounds, just flat out removed them. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't think it was a huge problem, but apparently it was enough, or enough people talked about it to the point where it got hotfixed. Hotfixes are applied at the game menu when you first start the game. To ensure that the hotfix has been applied, go to the in-game menu and see if updates are available is showing. I've also noticed if you press start while you're playing mid-game, it will actually ask you if you want to go back to the main menu to update your game to the current availability for the game. If you guys have not gotten any internet while playing this game yet, then there is a good chance that you haven't gotten these patches. So if you want to exploit them now, now's a chance. If you've done them before September 19th, if you get the game September 19th and haven't, gotten onto the internet with the game since then you're probably okay. None of these patches have taken place yet, so that's something to think about. So let's read a little bit more here. This is talking a bit more about the, the mayhem mode and how it was kind of scaled back. We know players have enjoyed a lot of the unique items that might be worried about changes in Mayhem Mode. Mayhem Mode will still greatly increase the high rarity drop rates across the worlds in Pandora, Borderlands 3. I have noticed that you did get a lot of stuff in Mayhem Mode, but I just kind of thought that was the mode. I guess we were getting too much. These changes made in the Mayhem Mode today, specifically on the Chupacabra and Loot Tinks, were made to spread some of the glory of the loot explosions to the other areas and other enemies we hunt, so basically evening everything out. We want Vault Hunters to hunt for unique items all across the world, so they didn't want you just constantly fighting the Loot Tink and the Chupacabra constantly in Mayhem Mode. This is to keep the core premise of Mayhem Mode. The targeted adjustments seek to keep the grind fresh while still retaining an increased unique loot drops for all parts of the game. We will be closely monitoring the changes to make sure players are still enjoying all the unique gear in game. I just had a stroke there, apparently. And this goes on to talk about more of the larger patches and stuff like that. In between the large patches that will continue to expand and improve the game, the first one of those coming next week, we are able to make more minor adjustments via hot fixes and micro patches. So that's basically what we got here, a micro patch or a hot fix. To improve the fine-tune your experience at a quicker pace, we'll continue to roll out these incremental improvements while evaluating game data and identifying necessarily balanced judgments. And we'll be keeping record of all patches on our site. So I will keep you guys updated when they do more. They talked about a first big update coming next week, so I'm sure that will have significant changes. It looks like they're still looking into performance concerns and some bugs and stuff like that. Overall, I don't think that this had a ton of problems. The game came out, I didn't see a lot of bugs. Like I said, the only time I really found any crucial bugs was when a character flat out would not move. Right in the beginning of the game, as soon as I met Lilith, she glitched in the stairs and didn't move. She literally got stuck, and like that's it. I had to reset my system or reset the game basically just to get it keep going again, just so she'd reset. It was kind of crazy. But let's see what it says here. We are hard at work investigation issues that have been reported, including performance concerns and bugs. Hotfixes generally are used to make balance changes and are handled by the design team. Additional reported concerns may affect other teams, which may require that changes are made in the true content patch/title update. Together, the Borderlands 3 teams are working tirelessly to release various patches or updates as soon as possible. However, we didn't want to wait on balancing changes just for the sake of appearances. So basically balancing and stuff like that is done by a certain team, which they can do pretty quick, like hot patches or micro patches, as they were saying. But bigger things like a full-on title update or a true content patch where it changes, like Borderlands 3, version 1.3 or something like that you would see in your PlayStation, like actual notifications, downloads, or Steam or Xbox Live, whatever. You will actually see a full download there, and it will actually let you access the game online until you do that update. Those are different, so they're not like hot patches. The hot patches are hot fixes, micro patches, whatever you want to call it. Those are easily done through the title screen, whatever. So these patches here, the bigger ones, which I guess we're going to be getting our first one next week, is going to be something that they have to require other teams to do it. So those other teams then will have to actually go in and help patch it and will actually get a full-on true patch or title patch update, which, I don't think the game has tons of troubles, but again, it's still nice to have the game updated when it's needed, you know. Especially with some of these spawning locations, I could see, you know, just constantly dying in the same place over and over and over again because the actual distance from a new use station wasn't close enough, and that's kind of like really, you know, annoying. And the sabotage crew challenges are pretty good too, because I always had a hard point, you know, just trying to find these missions because they're just kind of all over the place, all over the maps. And it's kind of hard to see because it blended in with the actual map itself, the icon. So now it's yellow paint. It looks a little bit different. That's actually easier to see. I think that's what they're talking about with that. I'm not 100% sure. But I'll keep you guys posted on more updates and fixes and stuff like that. I'm ready to see what the big update will be in the next one. Hopefully Mayhem mode still is just as good. If not, we might have to crank it up to the other later Mayhem modes. But I think it's going to be it for this video, guys. If you like these updates, please subscribe to the channel, give me a like. I will constantly be making these videos, updating you guys on Borderlands 3. But until then, thank you for watching this video, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching.